Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Stephanie. This is the week of 23, May the 31st through the 6th of June's weekly wrap up. Okie dokie. So, if you didn't notice that thumbnail, yeah. The lifestyle portion of this is gonna be kind of juicy since I have you here and I can talk about it because it's my channel and I can do what I want. I don't know why I look at my phone when I have to get up. I set my alarm this morning so that I could come down here and get this weekly video all done and recorded, and so I can go upstairs and get it edited real quick so that I can have this out to you guys. I don't know when I'm gonna have this out to you, but it will be out today, so you're seeing this on the day that I recorded it. But why did I go online? Why did I go on Twitter? I've been saying all week long that Twitter is crazy. It's crazy, and that there is no possible way for you to get your message across in 140 characters. Just not possible. I don't care. And those 140 characters for that one tweet can get twisted and manipulated and changed to mean something different, even if you have a chain of 140 characters tweets that go after it. Just because you number it 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 doesn't mean that people are going to go through and read that entire thread. So, feeling very ranty right now, and I've been in my feelings a little bit. I've been discussing and talking through my own feelings this week, and for all of you guys that reached out after I put that community tab up about having pre-filmed videos that I just don't have the motivation to edit because the world's on fire and, you know, what have you. Thank you. I won't be doing an individual video of how I'm feeling about this community or anything like that. I have done 5 other videos that if you're a supporter, you probably already seen. But if you're not a supporter and you're just now coming to the channel, go check out my discussion playlist because all 5 of those videos are in there and you can see my feelings on race in Booktube. So, I'm not going to use this time, my lifestyle time, to really like dredge on that. That's not where I am at. So, back to why I shouldn't get on social media before I come down here and try and record a weekly video and go off onto a tangent. I'm gonna need, I try not to do generalizations here, but I'm going to need people to stop picking and choosing when the N-word can be used. Right now, everyone is up in arms about the N-word being used in this book called White Frailty, written by a white author and is part of the Blackout Buddy Read. I'm gonna need y'all to stop. Just stop. Because you want to get on your high horse and say that the N-word is okay for black people to use, but you are up in arms when it is used in a non-fiction, let me say that again, non-fiction, teachable, instructional piece of work. Now, I have not read it. I have not read this book yet, but I'm going to read this book because I am participating in the Blackout Buddy Read, and I hope to be a part, to attend the live show and everything like that. So I have this book and quite a few other books. The other book, I think it's called White Rage, by the black author, but the two of these books, White Frailty and White Rage, were chosen by an educator, by a black educator who has read the books. So there is a reason behind picking non-fictional books talking about people's personal experiences that may include the N-word. But y'all want to come for me because I have an issue with the N-word being used in fictional, contemporary novels. No. So, as I said last week, I've seen a huge influx of subscribers. Thank you. I greatly appreciate it. It's finally sort of starting to match up when it comes to the uptick of 400 new subscribers. Thank you. And the views getting back up to where it's supposed to be, I guess. Maybe. It looks like you guys are starting to watch my videos for the uptick of subscribers. Like I said before, if you're just here to colorize and make your subscription box a little more colorful, please go ahead and leave. If you are here to hear about romance books, which is what I talk about mainly, I do throw some other books in there, but if that's what you're here for, if that's what you want to hear are my thoughts on the romance books that I am reading, devouring, and, you know, enjoying, then thank you. Please stay, enjoy. I have a huge backlist of videos that you can go and watch during these times of my unmotivation to get more videos out to you. Things like that. I was reading. I read this week. I read 8 books this week. So let's get into those reviews right now. So the first book that I finished reading last week was Royal Bastard by Avery Flynn. I place this in contemporary. I give it 4.25 stars. I give it 3 Steam fans. I read this as an ARC, and it is either live or going to be live this week. You guys need to go check this out. This story involves a woman named Brooke. She is an English secretary to an earl, and she is tasked to get this American guy named Nick who has an English father, and that father has passed away, but the grandfather is the earl, and he is sick and needs his American grandson Nick to come to the UK and start training to be an earl. It's fun, it's funny, there's some sexual tension that goes along there, there's some sexy times that are pretty steamy, and it was just a lot of fun. It was a good, like, just release of not necessarily needing to think about how the world's on fire, and I really enjoyed it. The next book that I finished was Andorra Sector, which is X-Clan #1 by Lexi C. Foss. I place this in paranormal romance dystopian, and I give it 4.25 stars. I give it 4 Steam fans. I read this as an ebook, and this book follows Katrina and Ander. Katrina is a human that is caught out in the, what do they call it? The infected area. So this world is being built. I was introduced to this world in Winter's Arrow, which is a Sinister Fairy Tales, part of the Sinister Fairy Tales collection. If you want to see that review, go check that week out right there. But introduced to this world, so I'm like, ooh, this sounds really good. So then I went back to the beginning for this book, Andorra Sector, and I find out that they're not necessarily connected. So if you haven't read Winter's Arrow, it's fine. You can jump in here and be cool and understand what's going on. If you want to read Winter's Arrow first, you can. You're not going to be, it's going to drag you back to this one. Just going to say that. So Katrina gets captured by Ander. Ander is the alpha wolf of the sector, and ooh, he ends up turning her. It is so good. It is so good. There's a bit of a hierarchy in the sector, and it goes alphas, betas, and then omegas. And come to find out, Katrina is one of the special ones. And I'm not going to spoil it by telling you which one is special, but yeah, it was so much fun. So much fun and so emotional, because the things that Katrina and Ander end up going through, you're just like, oh, at times I wanted to choke Ander, and then at times I wanted to like smack Katrina, and then there's the hotness factor. Woo! Yes, thank you very much. The next book that I finished was Mockingjay, Hunger Games #3 by Suzanne Collins. I placed this in dystopian. I give it 4.5 stars. I give it 1 steam fan because there's no steam in it. I listened to this as an audiobook, and it was a reread. I'm fogging up. Woo. I am doing a Hunger Games project. You guys hopefully will see that vlog either this week or next week. I have some other things that I need to complete before I can put that together, but let's just say it was interesting. My thoughts are interesting. Very interesting. And they took a turn. They took a very different turn than the first time that I read this book. The next book that I finished was Salt and Stilettos, South Beach #1 by Jane Walden-West. I give this book 4 stars. I give it 2 steam fans. I read it as an ebook. There is content warning for stalking, PTSD, family issues, and abandonment issues. So this book follows Brett, who is our female character. It took me a little bit to like wrap my head around that. It freaks me out when I see male gendered, I guess you could say, names assigned to females. It throws me off throughout the entire story, because then it feels more like a male story, except for you're saying she and her and things like that. But Brett is a PR genius, aficionado, and she lives in South Beach in Miami, and she is being tasked to sort of polish up Will, who is a up-and-coming chef and restaurateur, and he is American Samoa, so there is a lot of talk and a lot of culture that comes into it with the fact that she is, I'm not exactly sure what race or culture she is from. She did grow up on the poor side in Louisiana, so she is Creole, and her parents worked, one parent worked on the oil rigs and another kind of did what they needed to do. So those are some of the issues and I guess topics that are tackled, and how the two of them sort of come together. He doesn't really want to be made over. He wants to sort of stay on his own. He's kind of like a bumbling, he's uncomfortable. There we go. Uncomfortable in his skin, uncomfortable in front of the camera, in interviews and things like that. And Brett ends up helping him sort of get comfortable and get comfortable in his skin and where his role is. And it deals a lot with family. So I really enjoyed this story. And think you guys should go check it out, because it's very interesting. It had a very similar feel to it as The Beauty and the Baker, which is a show that I was watching. Yes. Very Beauty and the Baker feel. The next book that I finished was Heart Thief by Cora Dukey. This is a dark romance. I give it 4.25 stars. I give it 3 steam fans. I read this as an ARC, and it is part of the Sinister Fairy Tales collection, which you guys know I have been doing, and I was a little leery about this one when I first started it. It starts off very, very dark. There is content warnings for cults, ritualistic cult rituals. I don't know if I said that right, but there is a ritual that ends up happening in the beginning of this book that is, whew, it's dark. It's dark. It's very, very dark. Very dark. And it starts off with our character Mona, who is 12 or 13. Or 13 or 14. She's younger. But it's her and her sister, Cora. Clara. And the two of them, they live on this island and they are cut off from the world. Clara ends up leaving the island but doesn't come back, and Mona is stuck there on the island. If you know anything about the Sinister Fairy Tales collection, you know that they are fairy tales that are retold and reimagined. This one was reimagined so much that I actually had to go online to figure out which fairy tale this was a retelling, reimagining of, and it is a reimagining of Moana. I didn't get that feeling at all until I found out what it was, and then I thought back on my reading, which I devoured, by the way, in one sitting, and was like, oh, there's the connection. There's that connection. So anyways, back to what this story is actually about. Mona ends up growing up. You get sort of her younger years and what she's going through, and then on her 18th birthday she ends up leaving and she ends up meeting Cash and Colt, and they have to sort of solve a mystery. And that's all I'm going to tell you, because you should experience the rest of it. But be full warned that it is dark, and it has dark themes, and it has dark topics that are involved, but I really enjoyed it. It drew me in. I was on the edge of my seat for the entire thing, and like I said, one sitting. Could not put it down. The next book that I finished was the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. I'm placing this in dystopian. I give it 2.5 stars. I give it 1 steam fan. I listened to this as an audiobook. Hallelujah, because if I had tried to read it as a book, I would have gotten pissed off and mad. So mad. So mad. This just shows us that Snow, Coriolanus Snow, who ends up becoming President Snow of the Hunger Games, is a fucking psycho. This is him in his teen years, where he is in school in the capital, and the Hunger Games are sort of just starting. And all of the things that you saw in the Hunger Games are mentioned in this book. It's like, this is where the origin was, and I don't know if it was just that Suzanne Collins didn't have any new information to give us, or if she felt that, you know, all of those Easter eggs of, you know, things that we already know about, to know where their origin came from was the point to this. Not sure at all. And it does give sort of that aha, sort of why the hatred was there for Snow in the Hunger Games, because of the things that happen in this book. However, I do think this book could have been much shorter, and the fucking rhyming was driving me crazy. If you listen to the audiobook and you didn't realize it or didn't hear it, I'm very surprised, because by like 20%, 30%, I was like, why are we fucking rhyming? Every other word is a rhyme. And I did, however, enjoy finding out the origin story for one of the songs in the trilogy. I did find that very interesting. But you'll hear more of my thoughts in the vlog that I'm doing in my Hunger Games project for that one. The next book that I finished was Justice for Cora, and that is by L.B. Dunbar. I place this in contemporary novella. I give it 2.5 stars. I give it 2 Steam fans. Listen to it on the podcast of Read Me Romance. Read Me Romance. And this follows Cora Bell, and she is newly divorced. She is an over 40 character. And she decides that she is going to this known bar and she gonna get her some loving. Because she caught her husband on the desk with the secretary. She's been left unsatisfied for the last 15 years and of her marriage. And she's like, I'm gonna go get mine. She ends up meeting Justice. They end up hooking up. And then a year goes by, and then they see each other again. It was sort of a short story that didn't really go anywhere for me, and the sex times weren't all that sexy. I do like L.B. Dunbar and her writing, because she writes about over 40 characters, and I appreciate that. So, there is that. And from what I understand, these 2 characters are actually featured in other books, so I might have to do some research and find out which books they are in, because I might like them a little more in a full-length novel. So there's just this novella. And the last book that I finished last week was Insidious by Aleatha Romig. I place this in psychological thriller, dark psychological thriller. I give this one 5 stars. I give it 4 Steam fans. Listen to it as an audiobook because it is a reread. I read this when it first came out, and this book follows Victoria, Stuart, Brody, and Travis, our main characters that you are going to encounter throughout this. Mainly it's Victoria and Stuart. Victoria is this young woman that you get flashbacks from pretty much throughout her life, from 10 years to 9 years to present, and you get to see sort of the things that are going on. She ends up marrying Stuart because of some family issues that need to be taken care of, and then there's family secrets, and there is content warning. There's content warning for contract sexual encounters. And sort of, gosh, I don't want to really, like, tell you other content warnings. Just know that it's dark, because it kind of spoils the experience, I guess, of it all. I will say that it's going to leave you guessing. It's going to leave you guessing. I am going to try and get, Jen from the book Refuge and Izzy from Happy for Now, see if we can put together a live show maybe this week or the following week to discuss our feelings on this book and some of our theories, and just sort of have a discussion on it, because I loved it. I loved it. I think Jen is on the fence on it. And I haven't talked to Izzy yet, but I know the 3 of us were rereading it together as a sort of buddy read, and we want to, you know, discuss with you guys. If you haven't read it, and since we haven't picked a date yet, let me know down in the comment section if you would like to do a live, if you would like to see a live show and participate in the discussion and things like that. Let me know if you've read it so that we can, you know, sort of get a feel of who wants to come and talk about it. It would be spoilery, so just to know that, because we're going to discuss some theories if we can get this on. Alrighty, so as I said, that was the last book. Now, what am I currently reading? I am still doing and working on my Hunger Games project, which I hinted throughout this entire video. I will also be reading The Change Up by Meghan Quinn. This releases June the 11th. I will be reading The Boyfriend Project by Farrah Rochon. This releases June the 9th. And if you didn't see, I got an Instagram unboxing for this book. Really excited about that. So go check out my Instagram. I will also be reading Reborn Yesterday by Tessa Bailey. I don't have a cover because the cover release or cover reveal hasn't happened yet. Well, no, I take that back. Reborn Yesterday is right here, but I'm reading this one so that I can read the second book in the series. I received an ARC for it. I was chosen. And that is This Time Tomorrow. That cover doesn't release until June the 8th. So make sure you're looking at my Instagram or following me on Instagram so you can see that amazing cover. I've already seen it. It's so pretty. So pretty. And I can't wait to show you guys. So if you're not following me on my other socials, they're all down in the description box, along with so much other information. There is timestamps, so if there's something specific that you're looking for, if you missed a book cover and you sort of know where I was talking about the book, you can always check the description box so that you can get the timestamp, so you can get the name of the book that you're interested in. Also down there, I have my recommendations form. I have my coffee page, which I'm going to get better at, but you guys can donate if you want, if you got extra pennies. I greatly appreciate it. I said recommendation. I said coffee. I said my Amazon storefront, which I need to get better at as well. You guys can do affiliate links. I've had those down there for like the longest. You can always use the affiliate links down in the description box. And there is a improvement form down there as well. So check that description box because it can be very helpful. Also, I put down there some extra, you know, if I shout somebody out, if I talk about a person's channel and they have a channel, it's down there in the description box. So you guys can go check out some new creators. Let's do this. Okay. So, I think I've talked enough for today. Let's get to this outro, right? Yes. Alrighty. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, there is a feedback form down in the description box so you guys can help me improve my channel. There is a recommendations form down there. All you need is the title of the book, the author of the book, and genre you think it falls into. I haven't done anything with them because there's just so much going on, and you know, but I figure I'll keep telling you guys about it, and I will keep an eye on there so that I know who to shout out when I end up reading one of those books. Alrighty, thank you for watching, and we will hopefully see you guys this week in some more videos, but if not, thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video.